look at some braking exercises. We're going to have a look at normal stopping, and then we're going to have a look at quick stopping. Normal stopping, the idea of this exercise is we're just developing the skill to be able to stop the bike where we want to stop it accurately. When we're braking on a motorcycle, assuming that we're travelling in a straight line, want to slow down or we want to stop the bike, we always try and use both brakes together. So what we actually do is we're doing what we call set up first, and we set up a little bit of pressure on the rear, a little bit of pressure on the front. It's basically just taking the slack out of those levers. It's called set up because what we're doing is we're setting the bike up ready to stop quickly. So if you can see what I'm doing with the lever there at the front, it's just that little bit of free play in the lever. Similarly, underneath the right foot, doing the same sort of thing with the rear brake. So we set up, that gets the pads in contact with the discs on the brakes, and we already started to slow the bike down. Now, if it's a normal stop, what we do is we gently keep applying pressure to both those brakes, and we bring the bike to a stop where we want to stop it. In this little exercise, I'm going to stop with the front wheel inside that little square box there. And this is one of the exercises that we do on our learner permit course. So we'll have a bit of a look at this. We ideally, when we're applying brakes, we always want to get that little bit more pressure on the front brake than on the rear. The front brake is always the best stopping brake. So ideally, when it's a normal stop, we should have about 70% of our braking effort on that front brake lever and only about 30% on the rear, because what we're doing is we're using the weight transfer of the bike and the rider to load up the weight on the front tyre, flattens the front tyre out a little bit as the weight pushes down, and that gives us a bit more contact patch of rubber on the road. The secret to stopping the bike accurately, keep your eyes up. Try not to look down at the ground. If you look down at the ground when you're coming into stop, you'll find that you tend to wobble and you can overbalance. Keeping the eyes up and just using the peripheral vision to gauge our stopping point is the way that you'll keep balance. Okay, so we'll go around and we'll have a bit of a look at this. Okay, so we're ready to go. So we check mirrors, head check, and away we go. We can go up to second gear now. Entering our curve, so we start wide, we intend to finish tight. Similarly with this curve, we start wide, we intend to finish tight. We're coming round to our stopping point now, so I'm looking up, gently squeezing, set up pressure, a little bit more pressure to stop the bike, and I've stopped with the front wheel inside the square box. As soon as you stop, a good thing to get into, a good habit to get into is as soon as you stop, check your mirrors again. You should be checking your mirrors when you slow down, and you should certainly check your mirrors once you've stopped. I don't know if you heard also, but as I was slowing down then, I also, at the last minute, pulled in the clutch, changed to first gear, so that I'm in first gear by the time the bike stops. That's our escape gear. If I check the mirrors and there is something coming up pretty quickly behind me, looks like they're not going to be able to stop, I'm in first gear. It's our escape gear. Hopefully I might be able to manoeuvre myself and the bike out of the way of whatever is coming up behind me. Okay, so we'll have another go at that, just do a little bit more practice. So we're ready to go, we're nice and relaxed, we look up, we check mirrors, we head check, and away we go. Again, with our curve, we start wide, we intend to finish tight. Similarly with this curve, we start wide, and we intend to finish tight into the slower lane. We're slowing down now, checking mirrors. I've clutched in, first gear, squeeze the brakes, stop the bike, and immediately we stop, we check those mirrors again. Okay guys, there's a good little exercise for you to practice. That's one of the really important skills, is learning how to use brakes effectively on a bike. So time for you to go and practice now, if you will. Get some practice in with that. You can't over practice your braking technique, and next time we'll have a look at some quick stops. In the meantime, good luck with your riding.